My name is Kelly Iris. I'm 40 years old. My family has run a business for generations, and it was always decided that a man would take over. However, in my generation, no boys were born. It would have been fine if there was at least one boy among my relatives, but every family had only girls, possibly due to the low birth rate. So, the relatives got together and decided, why not let a woman take over? It's not unusual to have a female CEO nowadays. Ignoring my wishes, they decided I would become the CEO. Once that was decided, I had to work hard for the employees, leaving no time for marriage. I ended up devoting myself entirely to work. But when I turned 35, I regretted dedicating my life solely to work. So, I married a self-proclaimed artist I met through a friend's introduction, but hey, I've got a mistress. I need romance for my art. My husband, John, said in our 5th year of marriage. What are you talking about? I don't understand. I'm telling you, I have a mistress for the sake of my art. It's not acceptable nowadays to have a mistress as a muse. And you know what? I'm going on a trip abroad with her tomorrow. That's an affair trip, isn't it? You could call it that. That's the only way to call it. I'm working hard, and you're going on an affair trip. I'm doing it for my art. There's always been a tradition of artists having muses. It's the same thing. You should understand, being married to an artist. What a jerk. If you go, you'll regret it. There's no way. You'll have no distractions at work while I'm gone, and I'll enjoy my trip with my mistress without any worries. Where's the room for regret? How selfish can he be? Oh, by the way, I'm taking your card. It's a platinum card, so I can spend as much as I want. Thanks to that, I can spoil her. We're staying in the most luxurious suite in the best hotel. Women love this stuff. You can't have a happy trip without money. He said this while packing his bags, showing no sign of remorse. A mistress, huh? Listening to his humming, I muttered to myself. I knew he had a mistress. My self-proclaimed artist husband seemed to travel around taking photos, but there was always a beautiful woman in each one. Since it was the same woman in each trip, it was obvious they were traveling together. When asked, he would claim he was with a model. There's no way a model who also takes care of his physical needs would travel with him, so I knew she was his mistress. Yet, he would look at the photos and be pleased with himself, saying, I got some great shots this time too. Since you take so many photos, why not hold a solo exhibition? I once asked him. But he never held an exhibition. When I asked if he was trying to sell them somewhere, he said, I'm selling my photos online. I checked, and they were on an amateur site, priced from 20 cents to a few dollars. But his photos never sold. Of course not. He's clearly an amateur. Even professional photos can be bought for that price these days. No one is going to buy amateur photos with the same angles. I often wondered why he married me. It got so curious that I once asked him. The honeymoon phase disappeared within a month. Huh? Why I married you? It's obvious. Because you're the CEO. Marrying you means I'm set for life. There's no way I wouldn't regret marrying a man like him. But even though it's just a piece of paper, it's a very thick one, and there's nothing I can do about it now. I'd like to complain to the friend who introduced us, but I'm the one who decided to marry him. In short, I'm the one who was fooled by John. So, I can't complain. Besides, he often didn't come home, spending time with other women within 6 months of our marriage, and I've endured it for 5 years. In the end, I was just a convenient wallet for him. The thought of continuing to work for such a useless man makes me sigh. Then came the declaration of his affair trip. It would be one thing if he tried to hide it, but he made no attempt to, openly announcing his affair trip. What does he think I am? Oh, a wallet. He must think I'll forgive anything. He must believe I won't complain no matter what. No way. I felt guilty for not being able to do wifely things because of my busy work schedule, but that's reached its limit. I'm the one supporting him, so why should I tolerate this? I've put up with this worthless man for 5 years. Why should I endure any longer? I'd like to kick him out right now, but if I'm going to, I want to punish him properly. Yes, if I'm going to, I should punish him properly. My husband was still excitedly packing for his trip. He was stuffing newly bought underwear into his bag. Seeing him grinning over his underwear made me laugh. I wonder if those underwear will be useful. I called out to my cheerful husband. You might not be able to come back, you know? Huh? You think the plane will crash or something? Who knows? Anything can happen in this world. Don't say ominous things. In today's world, that's not gonna happen. How long do you think planes have been flying? No way. The plane I'm on won't crash. You can't be sure of that. Jealous much? Don't you think it's pathetic for an old woman to be jealous? You think I'm jealous? Yeah. You're saying you'll miss me if I'm gone? But I've been on trips many times before. This isn't the first. I'll come back when I feel like it, so don't worry. I don't want you to come back. By the way, what's your mistress like? Oh, you want to know? She's stunning. She's got a model's figure. Totally different from your middle-aged body. Tall and curvy in all the right places. I'd buy her anything. That money comes from my hard work, doesn't it? You have some nerve, considering you don't work. Where did you meet her? At a cabaret club I often go to. Women working there are always beautiful. Plus, they're fun to talk to. She fits my image perfectly. When I asked her to be my model, she asked where. She said she'd become a model if I took her to Switzerland or Sweden. Hearing that, of course, I decided to take her and take lots of photos. Now I'm a top-notch photographer. If having a model made someone top-notch, everyone would be a pro. I'll enjoy this like a honeymoon. Yeah, a honeymoon. You really want to regret this, don't you? If you're gonna talk like that, maybe I won't come back. You mean you can't come back, right? If you want me to come back, don't complain. Oh, I'm really just worried about you. Your words are always sharp. I'm about to go on a fun trip, and you're ruining my mood. I was thinking of coming back in a week, but maybe I'll stay too. Even if you cry from loneliness, I won't come back. You're pretty confident. Of course. You married me because you were lonely at 35, right? That means you can't stand being alone. So, I'm above you. I won't miss you because I have a mistress. That's because you have a mistress? Exactly. Anyway, I'm ready. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Saying that, my husband left for his trip the next day. After seeing him off, I closed the door, smiled, and started my planned actions. 3 days later, my husband called. Hi, honey. Are you enjoying your trip? Was it Switzerland or Sweden? Oh, I'm having a great time. Being with a stunning woman. But something strange is happening. Something strange? What is it? I knew what the strange thing was without asking, and I smirked. For some reason, your card isn't working. Oh, my card? Yeah. It's a platinum card, so there shouldn't be a limit. And it's your card, so there's no reason it shouldn't work. But whenever I try to buy something, it gets declined. I thought the magnetic strip might be messed up, so I entered the number manually, but it still didn't work. How can that be? It can happen. It can. So I need to get a new card issued? That's a problem. I can't shop without it. Even if you get a new one, it'll be the same. Why's that? Because that card is cancelled. I wanted to burst out laughing. But since I was on the phone, I held it in. Why would you do that? Why? Did you really just ask why? Yeah, I did. You said I could take the platinum card on the trip. Canceling it is cruel. Oh, you can say that? You were gonna use my card without permission. I had no choice. Why should my hard-earned money be used for your affair trip? Isn't that much worse? I'm your husband. I don't see you as my husband. You can't manage without me. No, no, no. I'm not in trouble at all. If anything, you're the one in trouble. Make the card usable. Why? Without money, I can't pay for the hotel or shop. I can't buy what she wants. Tough luck. It's not just tough luck. I came all this way, and I can't buy her anything or even feed her well. She'll be mad. Not my problem. It is your problem. Make the card usable. Do you really need money that badly? Of course. Without money, I can't even get back to America. That's why I said you might not be able to come back. Is that what you meant? Exactly. So, it wasn't about the plane crashing? That's just what you assumed. I never said that. Please, make the card usable again. No. If you really need money, get a job. You're a photographer, right? Sell your photos. If that doesn't work, then work hard for it. That's impossible in a foreign country. Plenty of people do it. I'll work when I get home. Oh, really? How? I'll sell the photos I took here. You've uploaded hundreds of photos online, but have they sold? No, right? Even if they did, it's only a few bucks. That's not working. No, I sold some recently. Oh, some hobbyist must have bought them. How many did you sell? 2. Oh my God! I burst out laughing. What's so funny? It's a hobby, not a job. Don't you get that? I can't get back without money. You said you weren't coming back, remember? That's fine by me. I have to come back. She's in trouble if I don't. She has a job too. Why don't you ask her to pay? She makes good money at the cabaret, right? She'd hate me if I did that. Yeah, she's only with you for your money. She doesn't love you for who you are. Just make the card usable. I don't have to do anything. Do you think I didn't know about your affairs? This isn't the first time. I've known everything. I've put up with it until now, but I'm done. You knew? Of course. And you kept quiet? I kept quiet because I thought I wasn't being a good wife, always working. But I'm done. Don't come back. Enjoy your honeymoon with her and marry her. I'll divorce you. Don't say that. I don't want a divorce. You may not, but I do. Please, I'm begging you. Let me use the card. No, I won't let you use the card. But I'll arrange for you to come back. I won't cover any expenses, so if you don't come back right away, you'll starve. That's cruel. I came all this way. And when you get back, you'll be my slave. Your slave? What do you mean? You'll find out when you get back. The next day, my husband returned with a worn-out face. The cheerful look he had when he left was gone. I couldn't help but enjoy it. How could you do this to me? You ruined the trip. She said she wished she hadn't come. If our relationship ends, it's your fault. It won't last with her anyway. How do you know that? Because you won't have any money to spend. Why not? Because you're my slave. What do you mean by that? I told you. The condition for paying for your return was that you become my slave. You were serious? Of course. There's no way I'll be your slave. You're pretty confident. Of course. Why would a husband be his wife's slave? We're married. That's right. So, should we get divorced? What? I'm fine with a divorce if you are. My husband looked at me, his face pale. I smiled and pulled out a paper with green lettering from the drawer. He knew exactly what it was. Hey, did you know? I found out when I got the divorce papers. Perfect, right? Divorce, leave the painful past behind, and move on. Sounds great. You're joking, right? Do you think I'd bring divorce papers as a joke? No, I'm serious. But your company is big. If the CEO gets divorced, what about the public image? That's an old-fashioned way of thinking. I think it's nonsense. I've put up with enough, and there's no need to keep suffering and affecting my work. So, I have no problem with a divorce. Damn. So, what will it be? Divorce, or become my slave and stay poor? You really want to make me your slave? Yes. What do you want me to do? All the housework, including cooking. If you make something bad, you'll redo it until it's right. You'll carry my bags, be my driver. You won't get to act high and mighty as the CEO's husband. And no allowance. You won't get a single cent. If you don't give me an allowance, I can't buy anything. I can't cook without money. There are online groceries and Uber Eats. You don't need to have cash. That's ridiculous. Without an allowance, I can't even buy a drink. There's water. This is insane. If we get divorced, I won't care about your promises. I won't be in trouble, remember? Fine. I'll be your slave. My husband agreed, hanging his head. But I didn't care. Now, make me some coffee. From then on, my husband took on all the housework, cleaning, laundry, shopping, cooking, and being my attendant. What did you make here? Huh? A meal? You call this a meal? You expect me to eat this? But what can I do? If you don't like it, hire a maid. Make it again. I can't. If you follow the recipe online, you can. You just don't want to. Why do I have to do this? Want a divorce? I'll redo it. Another day, he complained about not having any days off. You get days off, so why don't I? Because you're a slave, obviously. Give me a break. Do you think housewives get days off? What? Housewives everywhere work without days off. They do all the housework alone, work part-time jobs, and even take care of their parents. Compared to that, you don't have caregiving or child-rearing. This is the easiest job. I want to have some fun too. You don't even have money. I've been working, so pay me. Slaves don't get paid. You're being naive. This is ridiculous. You have a place to sleep, food to eat, and a bath. What more do you want? Want a divorce? You'll be free but poor. Whenever I brought up the divorce papers, he fell silent. But after 3 months, he reached his limit. Why do I, as your husband, have to be a slave? Because I paid for your return. Did you forget? You didn't work or pay for anything, and you played around with women. This is your just reward. You keep threatening divorce, but you need me more than I need you. Oh, here we go again. Why do you think that? I've told you I won't be in trouble. You married me because you were lonely. Without me, you'll be lonely again. You think you're in control, but you need me more. If you want me around, go back to the way things were. Are you serious? Absolutely. Sure, I used to feel lonely, living alone. I thought old age would be lonely too. See? I thought marriage would be fun too. Right? But you know what? I realized that marriage brought more downsides. A husband who doesn't work, doesn't do any housework, doesn't contribute to expenses, and cheats constantly. It's better to be without a man like that. Thanks to you, I've learned that marriage isn't as ideal as I thought. If you hate being a slave so much, sign the divorce papers and leave. Fine, I will. Being divorced is better than being with you. I have plenty of women waiting for me. Go ahead. Feel free to sign. But I'll be taking alimony. Idiot. The one who cheated pays alimony. Plus, you used my card without permission. I could have gotten a lawyer and taken you to court. But I won't bother with that now, so I'm letting you off. But you're paying alimony. Why? You're rich. That doesn't matter. You're the one who cheated. Damn it. Rich people. If you hadn't mentioned alimony, I wouldn't have demanded it. Foolish. Despite being angry, my husband signed the divorce papers, thinking he'd take some valuables with him. There's nothing you can take. Why not? We have to split the assets. Everything in this house was bought before I married you. There's nothing we bought together. The only things you can take are the junk you had before we got married. Damn. Fine, whatever. Furious, he stuffed his belongings into a bag and stormed out of the house. A month later, John contacted me. Where are you? Home. You're not at the place we used to live. I moved. Why? Living alone in a big house is too much trouble to clean. I moved to a place that suits me better. Where are you? Give me the address. There's no need for that. Please, tell me. Why? I have nowhere to live. Oh, that's tough. But it's not my problem. We're strangers now. Don't say that. You're the one who refused to be a slave and left. It's too late now. Please don't say that. No woman will take me in without money. Even friends give me looks after 3 days. And without money, I can't stay at an internet cafe. I'm sleeping in the park. Don't you feel sorry for me? No, I don't. You chose this path. So, let me stay at your place. We're strangers. We used to be married. That's in the past. Now we're strangers. Or do you want to be a slave again? I refuse that, but please let me stay. You're naive. I'll starve to death at this rate. Get a job. There's nowhere to work. No, you just don't want to work. You were taking photos, so sell them. You said you were an artist. I am, but none of them are selling. I figured. Then let me stay. I'm telling you to make an effort. I did. What effort did you make? Staying with friends, going to women's places. That's not effort. How stupid are you? Listen to me. Those women were after my money. It was my money, not yours. When I had money, they treated me so well. But now, without money, they ignore me. That was obvious. Don't you think it's terrible? No, I just think you're foolish. Don't say that. I've been trying. You've been trying in the wrong direction. Get a job, you lazy bum. Let's start over. I'll do it right this time. As a slave? No, I don't want to be a slave. No allowance and all that wasn't a human life. That's what housewives deal with. You couldn't even handle that. Just give up. Don't say that. Where did you move? You must be lonely. I can be there for you. Having you around doubles my stress. I became stress-free after we split. Thanks for the divorce. This time, I'll focus only on you. No, thanks. I'm not as lonely since I moved. What do you mean? I realized I was lonely because the house was too big. Now I'm in a place that suits me. I can focus on work. It's perfect. If you're focused on work, wouldn't it be better to have me around for when you want coffee? I have a siphon for coffee. It's a great way to take a break. Plus, I realized you were just a distraction. I don't need you. Don't say that. I can be a good partner. Sometimes you only realize things after a failure. You mean your wallet was a good partner for you? Don't contact me anymore. I'm glad to be rid of you. That's a cruel thing to say. Oh, and don't forget to pay the alimony. I haven't received any bill. You don't have a fixed address. How would you get a bill? That's why I'm telling you now. I can't pay without money. That's your problem. John called me heartless, but I laughed and hung up. After that, John called numerous times. When I didn't answer, he showed up at my office. But when I refused to see him, he started sitting in front of the company. This was damaging the company's reputation. When I threatened to call the police, he got scared and left. Realizing that he couldn't rely on me anymore, he finally decided to look for a job. However, without a fixed address, he couldn't find work. So, he decided to borrow money from a payday lender. He thought he could rent an apartment and pay back the loan once he got a job. But even with an apartment, it wasn't easy to find a job since he had never worked seriously. In trouble again, John borrowed more money. He got used to borrowing money easily without working, and this became his lifestyle. As a result, his debt kept increasing, along with the interest. Eventually, he owed more than he could ever repay. Choked by debt, John abandoned his apartment and disappeared. His mailbox was filled with letters from creditors. Meanwhile, I moved closer to my company, making my job even easier. I also got a dog, something I had always wanted, and I'm now living the happiest and most fulfilling life ever.